Welcome all to our Mateo County.
Is your mic on?
Clip it on the mic.
Oh, it just switched.
Switched. Welcome everyone. It's 10 a.m. to our special board meeting of the San Mateo County Harbor District Board of Harbor Commissioners. Can we, before we get started, can we stand for a pledge of allegiance?
Elvis is standing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call, please.
President Damarat,
Present.
Commissioner Zemke,
Present.
Commissioner Matoush,
Present.
Commissioner Slater Carter,
Present.
Commissioner Chang Crowley.
Present.
All present and accounted for. Thank you so much. At this point, there are no public in the room here. However, do we have any hands up? We do. Okay. So this part of the program is where the public can make any kind of comments they would like to the Board of Commissioners dealing with items that are not on the agenda. So please. All right, we'll hook you up.
Who is making the comment?
It's going to be Connie.
What?
Connie, can you hear us? Connie, can you hear us? Connie, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Connie, you can go ahead and speak.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. If I had raised my hand, I apologize. I didn't mean
Oh.
to. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. That was all.
Okay.
That was it?
That's it.
My goodness, it was quick. Commissioner comments. I think we should welcome Bill back from his trip in Europe. That's a commissioner.
And you.
Welcome
And
back.
George.
Check his passport for stamps.
That's right.
I have a comment.
Check. Right.
Oh, did Tom give a comment?
So at the previous meeting, I did misspeak about the El Granada Gateway. I said the height limit was 30. The height limit is 16 feet. That could be a one-story building with a sloped roof. It could be a two-story dug into the foundation a little with a little second-story observation deck. So I stand corrected, 16 feet for the El Granada Gateway.
So I just wanted to let you know, George, that since you missed the last meeting, we did approve having our meeting in September in South San Francisco and another meeting in South City. Of 2027. So we'll have a meeting there in 2026, September of 2026, and the next one in May of 2027. So I just want to let you know that I've gotten some positive feedback about that. And I think people there are happy that we're going to have a meeting in South San Francisco.
I think that's great. And I'm looking forward to it. After 3.5 years here, we
Yeah.
haven't had a meeting there.
Since 2019.
29, oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm looking forward to it because I can walk.
It is.
Yeah, you won't be one of the furthest ones. I'll still be the first.
I won't walk for Elvis.
Any other commissioner comments? Catherine? Anything at this point or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I hope everyone is paying attention to what is going on with the Pacifica Pier. Because it will have an effect on this marine recreation area, because a whole lot of people won't be able to fish and crab in Pacifica. And so they're going to come down here because we have parking. And but it's a major problem for Pacifica, and we all need to pay attention to what the regulatory agencies are going to be saying about this.
That's true, and I'm a Pacifica end representing Pacifica, and so there's a lot of discussion and controversy. There's been a lot of emotional discussion and nostalgia being talked about. But there's some realities and truth in terms of the cost of doing something there, whether fixing or replacing or whatever. So we'll hear a lot more about that as the future goes on. They'll look at federal grants and state grants and other funding. They were challenged, several years back in doing some maintenance, and the city was not able to get that accomplished. I believe it was due to not being able to come with their part of the car share, and so they deferred that maintenance. And since then, the pier has failed. So there's going to be some interesting challenges coming up ahead, but that's a great point. So thank you. Go ahead.
Can I add on to that? I mean, Catherine, you bring up a great point, but I would also say that Oyster Point could also become more crowded because South San Francisco is really not that far from Pacifica. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we should just be prepared. And I don't know, Jim, if I don't know what kind of influx of people we're going to have going to both or one or whatever, but we just need to be prepared. And I think that, again, South San Francisco is not that far, and people might want to have other choices, or they, just want us to be aware. So thanks for bringing up that point, Catherine. But I just want to say that it's for both, I think for both places.
Tagging on to Commissioner Slater Carter's comments, I did see there was a bulletin out by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife on CARP, California Artificial Reef Program. And that could be a good time to follow up on that.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah, the Pacifica Pier was a really interesting development in that it was the fishing people of the state who got together with the city of Pacifica when Pacifica was going to build and design that pier. So it was a dual purpose. Number one is to get the sewage pipes over the surf zone rather than going through and below the surf zone. And the other one was a fishing pier. So there was funding back then by the fishing industry and fishing concerns of California. So maybe that'll be something that the city can look forward to get some support.
And just for those who like to find disaster in everything, the city moved its ocean outfall and created a wetland north of that. And so the pier has not been over a sewer outfall for decades. And it has been it has been an important tourist attraction and ocean access point.
Great. Well, we'll keep track of those kinds of things because it will concern us. So thank you. Any other comments, Bill? Don't want to talk about your trip? No? Okay, thank you.
Vacation photos.
Item E for discussion, our real reason for being here today is the request for proposal for vacant retail restaurant space number 1, restaurant and bar lease, and space number 2, cafe and optional seafood market. Mr. Pruitt, would you like to lead us into that discussion?
But this is a committee.
Oh, a committee report.
Yeah, from the evaluation.
So can we have the committee lead give us a brief introduction into that?
Was Catherine the chair of that? Who was the chair of that?
We're co-chair. Tom and I are co-chairs.
Okay, well,
Or if they would like me to take the lead.
I just someone take the.
Go ahead and take the lead, please.
Good morning, board. This is a report from the ad hoc committee and which reviewed and is making a recommendation on RFP 2601, RFP 2602, and RFP 2603. The ad hoc co-chairs were Commissioner Catherine Slater Carter and Commissioner Tom Matoush. And Also helping and evaluating was myself and our Director of Administrative. So we reviewed all three applications. We requested more information from each group. We interviewed all three applications, or groups of applicants, and evaluated them, and the board then, or the ad hoc committee then made the recommendation to move forward with RFP number 1 and RFP number 3. RFP number 1 being the restaurant and harbor bar, and RFP number 3 being the parcel on the corner where the old Order at the Corner used to be, and fish market. The recommendation for RFP number 1 and space number 1 for restaurant and bar lease, the committee's recommending Pillar Point Grill and Harbor Bar LLC. And for the vacant restaurant space number 3, cafe and optional seafood market, the committee is recommend Fletcher and Charlie's LLC. Pillar Point Harbor Bar, or Pillar Point Grill and Harbor Bar, only requested RFP or responded to RFP 2601, which was the Harbor Bar and restaurant, and RFP number 3 got 1 response for Fletcher and Charlie LLC. There is no independent consideration for RFP number 2, which was the center space, which was the old ice cream shop. And the committee's recommendation at this point with that is to leave that empty until the board can decide what the best option for that space is. The committee's recommendation to the board is to have the board agree to authorize the general manager to begin lease negotiations with the following RFP respondents using the attached draft lease and personal guarantee as a template. The attached lease and guarantee and template were attached to the RFPs and to previous staff reports on this subject. And we're requesting that you authorize the general manager to enter into the restaurant and bar lease with Pillar Point Grill and Harbor Bar LLC. And again, space number 3, RFP 2003, cafe optional seafood market with Fletcher and Charlie LLC. Pending any question, that is the committee's report.
George?
Did I do
Through the
something
chair.
wrong? Okay.
I would like, I thank you
Oh.
to the evaluation committee. Can I make a motion?
Yes, to
Okay,
begin.
so I'd like to make, thank you to the evaluation committee, Commissioners Matoush and Slater Carter. I thought that your recommendations were sound, especially the stuff that I read when we got the responses. So I'd like to make a motion to authorize the general manager to begin lease negotiations with the following RFP respondents using the attached draft lease and personal guarantees as a template. That would be RFP 26-01 for the restaurant and bar lease Pillar Point Grill and Harbor Bar LLC, and space number 3, RFP 20-03, Fletcher and Charlie's. And I think that it's smart to temporarily, at least for now, leave space number 2 vacant, and then we'll just see how things go. But I think that these 2 tenants are very sound, and they might actually, incidentally or coincidentally or consequently, help us, not indirectly help us determine what the appropriate tenant should be for space number 2.
Microphone, please, Catherine.
Yeah.
Need a second.
Yeah, I'm doing it to
Sake-
open the
For the sake of
discussion.
discussion, I will make the second.
Excellent.
You let me get to the end of my sentence. Thank you.
Right.
So.
It was a movement and
Motion and
seconded.
second.
Before we get into commissional discussion, we have no one in the audience to discuss it. Do we have anyone online who would discuss? No, then we'll open it up for commissioner discussion.
Point of information, the RFP is not 2003, it's 2603.
Oh, did I say 2003? Sorry, I meant 26. Oh,
Is-
I'd like to revise your motion.
Yeah, I'll amend it basically for the second space for number 3, it's RFP 26-03.
And I'll leave the second.
Thanks, Tom.
As it was exciting to talk to the 3 sets of applicants. They were all very professional. They were all very different. And it was a really tough choice for Tom and I. But after I read it first and then rereading it after we made that decision, I think this is going to be an exciting new vision for the harbor. We had Catch Joanne there for so many decades, and I think this particular pair of business visionaries, operators, are right in line with the Harbor District Board on wanting to create some excitement, some educational opportunities, and some serious outreach into the community to get more people to come and appreciate the importance of the harbor, even if they live in like San Mateo and they can't quite find us on an old paper map, but their Google will get them here. And so I'm looking forward to this. I would like for the committee to be able to work with the general manager to be able to micro examine this lease. And what's the other one? The lease agreement and the guarantee of lease. I think we need to be very aware of maybe some changes that need to be made from previous ones. So I look forward to Tom and I working on that with Jim. And so we can make sure that some of the details that we thought we didn't need in the past lease are inserted in this. And if anybody's done any real estate or anything, I've been buying real estate, and it used to be like a 4-page document that you read and signed, few signatures at the bottom. Now you're looking at 300 pages, and this is why. A lot of learning went into those things. And so I want us to be able to maximize our learnings from the past tenant.
A comment online.
Oh, yeah, we could take that now.
Are you there?
Hi, good morning. I was wondering what the pathway forward when there was an offer to take all 4 spots, and what was the driving force behind the decision to leave 1 vacant.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Certainly. I was wondering what the deciding factor was in leaving one of the areas vacant when I think there was an offer that would have taken all 4.
No independent response to RFP number 2.
George, ask who the speaker is.
What is your name?
Betty?
Oh, sorry. John Graham Taylor.
Okay.
It's hard to.
Does anybody want to?
Well, I mean, basically, Jim just answered.
Okay.
Yeah, I can address that question. There was no independent response to RFP number 2.
Okay.
So that there was nothing for the board to consider with the center space being open, with the other 2 being obligated or considered. RFP 2 was not responded to.
Thanks, Jim. So when I was reading,
Okay.
the responses, this scenario that is being recommended was exactly what I thought should be at this point. Because like you said, Jim, there was no independent RFP for number two or space number two. And to me, I think it's better to maybe put it out again or figure out what the Harbor District wants to do with that. I mean, we could use it for our own purposes. That's not for discussion here at this time, but at least we have other options that we can consider. And we can always go out for an RFP for that space alone, or independently again. But I think right now it was really, this is a good decision.
Great, thank you all.
Oh,
Do we have any other public hands up? No, okay, go ahead, Bill.
okay, I
Sorry.
had a couple of thoughts. I know over the last several years, we've spent a considerable amount of time looking at what it might look like if we replace that structure and do something different. Part of that was driven by, I think, maybe some concerns that that structure is getting older and that it maybe wasn't the best fit, or there were some issues with it. And I just wanted to kind of double check that we're pretty confident that that structure will last a period of time. I'm sure, I don't want to have tenants come in and, oh my gosh, this building needs to be replaced, kind of. So I'm assuming that we can assure them that looking 5 or 10 years out, maybe that's an option, but at least in the foreseeable future, that structure is going to remain. I mean, is there,
That's on the back burner now, right?
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
we paused that.
We pause that, okay. So we're not aware of any imminent
Change.
issues with
Shifting of
electrical
the
or plumbing
structure.
or other structural issues with that building.
The biggest concern with the building recently, or in most recent history, has been the roof. And we've replaced and repaired the roof.
Okay,
There is plumbing issues. The plumbing works. It's just not the best. So you have to manage that, and we manage that.
okay. The other thought that crossed my mind when reading through these, the proposal for the Pillar Point Restaurant and Harbor Bar, the people that are proposing that already own the Old Princeton Landing. And I guess I'm just looking for a feel from the people that interviewed, whether they feel they're confident they have enough depth to kind of take on a fairly big project, of managing a whole new restaurant and bar.
Somebody from the committee, Catherine?
I believe in talking to the ownership of OPL that they will be easily able to do this. It gives having a competitive or another business, a similar business so close, gives them actually a redundancy that of staff and operations issues that will make it easier. I had 2 McDonald's restaurants about 0.2 of a mile apart. You could walk very quickly between them, and we found it was very useful to do that. But what was said during the interview was that the Harbor Bar Grill and Bar will have a different menu and a different attitude and a different environment from the OPL.
Right.
And but they're still talking about having concerts and events, and they're looking forward to working with the Harbor District to bring events there. And so I think there won't be a conflict. And I believe these 2 groups of tenants will be able to work together with the other tenants in that building and really revitalize what's going on. So I don't see what I was told last night when I was at OPL was by another customer, oh, they're going to be putting pizza in at OPL. And they're going to be doing something else, steaks at the harbor. So they will be complementary and not contradictory.
Good, thanks.
And Catherine just answered my question, that they'll be complementary of each other and not competing for the same kind of, because the foods will be a little bit different, and mostly in the lunch, because one will be more targeted for to-go type of foods, which could be different than the lunch menu that the space number one would have, I would think. So.
Right. Well, and the grill and bar will have breakfast.
I'm excited about that.
In addition, and that was really a critical factor from what this board had discussed as being a strong need for the businesses and the harbor
And the
at that
community.
location. Yeah, and the community. And so what happens if in a thriving business environment is people bouncing back and forth, but they're more likely to come more frequently. And generally, any business depends on its local clientele. And then the tourists and the visitors are a plus. And so they're looking to create a more visitor attractive environment for the whole Princeton area. No visitor,
Okay.
because
Because
for
Because
the,
I think that's what the last tenant missed, was the local.
they're trying to do it for the Princeton area,
Okay.
for visitors and locals, because there's a lot of little businesses in Princeton that if we could draw more locals, a lot of people, from Half Moon Bay don't know that there's communities north of
Half Moon Bay.
92, north of 92, right? And so if we can get people there, it will help the economy in the area as a whole, including the restaurants, and then people will bounce back and forth, and both sets of applicants are very aware that price point is a serious issue for folks. And they want to be able to attract people who have limited disposable income, as well as people who are doing a big celebration.
I have a question.
So Tom and Catherine, did y'all see, or could y'all see, because I kind of could see when reading the responses, a differential or enough of a difference between the two applicants here to make them not conflict with each other or compete against each other? I don't know. I mean, does that make sense? Like overlapping types of food. I mean, I know that one's going to focus on seafood, but at the end of the day, they both wanted to bring in local seafood. And I just want to understand what kind of overlap there might be in terms of the types of food that they're serving.
One seems more oriented towards strictly seafood and different preparations of seafood, and the other is a general all-around purpose. And as Catherine mentioned, and the applicant mentioned, there's a possibility of a shift in purpose between OPL and Princeton Harbor Bar and Grill. So it's not going to be an issue with the two in our tenant row. They're going to be complementary because they're different. And I think that it'll be a benefit.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks.
Did you feel comfortable in their discussion? So we talked about breakfast, great, lunch, very good. The dinner portion, did you get a warm and fuzzy feeling about what their philosophy would be for the dinner? Because I know we talked about maybe approaching a little bit more upscale kind of dinner kind of
I think,
thing, or how did they, how
I
did they approach
think,
it?
I keep wanting to call it a bar and grill, but it's really a grill and bar on their contract. So I have to train myself to say grill and bar. And they are trying to have something a little more upscale kind of to reflect the more elegant. It's funny to say Princeton Harbor, Pillar Point, and elegant in the same sentence because it's been just a hometown and working fishing area. But I think people are looking for that. And so that's what the owners are hoping to be able, but they're also smart enough owners that they will read their audiences.
Right, they know the local community.
Well, they know the community. They also know the tourists because they're,
From here.
from the county and other places. But they recognize that some people might want more of a sit down, nicer atmosphere as opposed to just a quick service.
I think in one of the RFPs, they said elevated dinner.
Elevated, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did they define
I said upscale, but elevated.
Well, elevated isn't like fancy, but it's a little fancier than
Click.
lunch and breakfast, right?
Right. It's
Yeah.
not the Ritz.
Right, but you can sit down and have a nice dinner that's
But people
full
can come
service
he-
and, yeah.
It's not the Ritz, and everyone can come here and get a good meal, including beef and vegan
Meat in general,
and vegan and
all of the selections.
and so everybody can feel comfortable and leave full.
I think it's a great plan. Anyway, I made the motion, so there's a second.
We had a motion, we had a second.
Just one other
okay,
thought
go.
that crossed my mind. I too, I'm excited. I think this could be a tremendous fit for what we need. I do recall in the last tenant, we had kind of a go around about parking. And I assume, are we keeping the parking? And as I understand it, the parking right now is a 2-hour limit in the parking lot in front of,
The first 2 rows of the parking spaces in front of the restaurants is a 2-hour limit.
okay. I'm not anticipating it's an issue, but I just, something on my mind
No, I
clicked
think,
that there was an issue
I
before.
think that's a great question because there was a lot of little issues that came up that were discussed in the past. And I would think that being locals, certainly OPL would understand.
You're
or
going to be
some of
sensitive
those
to
things
that,
and
yeah,
kind of flush out if any of those are going to be a
Yeah.
challenge for them or not. But
okay.
it sounds like Jim has worked through some of that.
Yeah.
I think so, but I also don't think that parking has been such a bad issue. I mean, I've been with the previous tenants. I've come in here and the parking lot's completely empty,
Right.
right? I mean, so during the times where we've had events like salmon season or whatever, or like our, what is it, the Lighted Boat Festival. And yeah, I mean, you would expect that to be that way, but I actually think that the parking issue with the previous tenant was a red herring more than it wasn't.
Right.
And I do think that the current tenants would understand the parking issue could be difficult during busy times, but in general, I think that was a red herring previously. And I mean, we have more than that one parking lot. We have parking lots behind the building and
True,
off to
there's
the side, so.
huge amounts of
Yeah,
parking
so
there.
that's what I say. I think that's what I'm saying. I think the parking lot issue was never a real issue, as a red herring. And I think that these tenants are very cognizant of the potential parking problems, especially with OPL, because there's less parking at the OPL than there is at the harbor. If you
Mhm.
think about that, right? They have street parking. They share the parking lot with, what's that group? The
VFW.
Yes, yeah. So so there's less parking there than, and that place was busier than Pelagic. So, I'm sure that they're aware of the parking thing here.
Mhm.
Catherine.
The times that I've seen that we have more serious parking issues are during our major one-day events. And they were concerned about parking for their employees. So there is an area which the tourists use that is close to the businesses, but it's not on the tourists go-to. They look for easier access. Not that this is tough access, but it's a perfect close access parking for employees. So we were
Business.
talking about that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We all
And
talked about the parking issue.
right.
Okay,
And
great.
just as an aside, we are putting in even more parking and RV areas. And so we're going to have, I think, lots of parking, but there will be those times like the Lighted Boat Festival, salmon season, and those kinds of things. People are very, if they want to be somewhere, they're pretty adaptable.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any other comments by commissioners? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't look this
I'd
way.
like to invite the proposed tenants to come in during the negotiations for another walkthrough so they can start planning what they need prior to the execution of the contract. Do another walkthrough and just get more familiar with the spaces, the direction, the amount of room that they've got, how things are oriented, what they're going to have to get, so that they can actually start sourcing their materials and have their businesses open on a shorter scale.
Any other questions? I have to get Tom Matoush to explain to me what a red herring is. Or where that
I
term,
said red herring.
well, he did too. He was
Oh, okay.
quoting in the thing about red herring. Anyway, red herring.
Probably
Is that
actually referring
not
to
a
the
good thing?
fish.
I'm sorry. You know, I gotta throw one of these things in here every once in a while. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Zemke,
Aye.
Commissioner Mathush,
Aye.
Commissioner Slater Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Chankrali,
Aye.
President Dumrat.
Aye. It passes.
Can I, oh, go
sorry.
ahead, go
No, I
ahead.
thought-
I was gonna ask for one other thing
Okay,
that's
Please do.
not, that's kind of part of this, but when are we going to, I guess for space two, we can probably wait until much later to see how these tenants perform, or when do y'all want to look at space two? We don't have to do it right away, but do we even want to right away? We can wait for until next year or whatever. I don't know what y'all discussed.
My opinion is, oops, sorry. My individual opinion is that we put a sign up there that says for lease, bring us your ideas.
Yeah, but what if we don't want to lease it? Because we could use.
Well, we need to discuss that.
That's what I'm saying. When do we want to do that?
And because the other thing we need to do, but I think we should number one, we need to let people know, see what's happening, and also examine our own needs.
So,
Because we might want to be able to use it as a space for pop-ups, to be able to use when they come, and we really need to not hire an expert. That's a lot of money. We all know a whole lot anyway. And maybe it's a good site for something maybe that's not food related.
well, we're not on that as an agenda item.
No, I
So
understand.
I guess we don't have to talk about what we're going to do with this space until months later. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I think we should start those
We can think
discussions
about it.
earlier as a board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
discuss the
No,
substance
we
of it.
have to
Okay.
start.
Yeah,
But we should all be thinking about, all right.
Yeah.
What could we use there? Let's
I have
let's think
been.
of something else.
I have lots of things.
Okay.
Maybe the surfing museum?
no, okay, anyway,
A lot of things. Okay,
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 10:39.
before we do that, I just wanted to
Oh,
say
yeah, go ahead.
thank you directly to Catherine and Tom for all that work. I know that was not, the
It's a lot.
easiest thing to do, and especially with all the things that happened in the last couple of years, you wanted to be really careful and laying this out the right way. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. So,
Thanks a lot.
Okay, now I'll make a motion
Now
to
you-
adjourn at 10:40.
Do we get a second? Second. Tom seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor, aye.
Okay, thank you.
Next